Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for the support of my recent videos. It is so lovely and I thank you guys so much. It means the absolute world to me that you guys find value in my content, and this is what I've been trying to achieve for the past 9 months on YouTube, and it does really mean the world to me. I know I've been posting videos for quite some time and there wasn't really a lot of people clicking on it, and I do it for myself, but I hope that I can build a community where we can find like-minded individuals to share our thoughts and have this become a space where we can just support and inspire young Asian men, or whoever you are. You don't have to be Asian as well. If you find value, thank you so much. Today, we'll be talking about dealing with discrimination as an Asian male in the dating scene. I know there isn't too many videos or concepts about it. I think there might be some Reddit posts or something like that, but I hope to kind of concentrate this and find this in one place that you guys can empathize or just think about these topics. So dating as an Asian male in 2022 in the dating scene, you do deal with a lot of discrimination and stereotypes that are actively against you. And I'll start with the biggest factor is dick size. Does dick size matter and stuff like this? It's kind of fucked up how this is a stereotype against Asian men. And this is a perpetuated stereotype that's actively used and discriminated against us. And I mean, it starts as a joke, but these belittling jokes, I mean, it fucking hurts you, right? You can't do anything about your, size. And it's very infuriating. It's very sad. When I participated in fun things with my girlfriend, some of her girlfriends, even if they're great people, were like, wow, does he have a small cock? And she's like, no, what the fuck? I'm thankful that mine's not small, and no one's ever said that. But it is something that does poke at an insecurity of just being a guy, right? Being measured by a small dick, I mean, it doesn't really fucking matter at the end of the day, but if girls find value in that, I don't know if that's someone you should be with. And I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of fucking shallow people out there in the world and in the dating scene that will make these jokes. And I've had Asian friends where they're participating in intercourse and a girl's just laughs oh, is that it? How fucked up is that? And then that just confirms the stereotypes in their head. And it's anyone can have a small cock. You could be fucking black, white, whatever, and Asian. Just because you're Asian doesn't mean that, right? And it's just really messed up, because think about what that does to your self-esteem. You are, if you're hooking up with someone and you're totally afraid of it, you realize some dicks will be smaller to some girls, some will be smaller. No matter what it is, it's a losing game. And if someone does make a comment about that, I don't know if you should fucking be with them at the end of the day. And it's genuine people that love you, that idea of your girth and size shouldn't fucking matter. And it's really sad that there's all these online forums of how to make it bigger or stuff like that. It's kind of disgusting. I'm that's something you can't fucking change. And our relationship is not purely about sex. Our relationship is about love, building something, being on the same team, developing intimacy, and just living a great fucking life. And showing up every day and be I'm so thankful for this individual in my life. She helps me, or he makes me a fucking better person overall. And that's what should matter. And sex is just a natural form of that. It's just a communication. It's just an expression of love. It's another way. And the same thing as hand holding, kissing or hugging or writing poetry. I don't know if people still do that, or giving flowers. Sex is an expression of that. But to be judged by your dick size by the general public and I guess girls, it's kind of fucking depressing, right? Thankfully, I've never been made fun of for that. But if someone really wanted, the past, there's been some really shallow people who were mad at me after I broke up with them. They're you know what, you're the smallest cock I've ever seen. I was well, first of all, that's a fucking lie. Number two, that's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. And then they're well, yeah, now it's all Asians have small dicks. And it's just that's just fucking racist as shit. I mean, if you have this idea of everyone's going to the dating scene and they just assume that Asians have small dicks, I mean, that's so fucking infuriating, because I feel you're actively working against stereotypes, trying to prove people wrong, as if you're representing the entire Asian race and culture in this single moment. Because if there's someone who's never been with an Asian and then you give her a quote unquote bad experience, she's wow, I had one time with an Asian, never fucking do it again. And I'm dude, that's so much fucking pressure to have on you. That's just so messed up that I don't think people ever talk about. There's this immense pressure, and you try to tell your friends, hey, did you feel you had performance anxiety or you're representing your race during sex? And no, dude, just chill the fuck out, have a fun time. But I'm I think this fact has to get acknowledged. And I think that's the number one thing is hey, there's some really shallow fucking people out there. There are really shallow girls in the same way there's really shallow guys. But when it comes to race, there's not another stereotype that actively is there. I mean, when you think of Asian guys, people are bad drivers, small dick. I don't know if there's another race that's has I mean, there might be a positive stereotype, black guys, big dick, but there isn't one that's as negative. Because if you think of Asian girls, it's not they have a small, it's that doesn't really make any sense. Like, why is that against guys? And another thing is, it's like society in the dating scene, people just assume Asians are just very, very passive. I mean, there is kind of like a truth to the Asian culture. You know, the idea of put your head down, don't fucking complain, is work your way through it through sheer willpower. But the thing is, we live in 2022. Maybe that has worked in the past, but that no longer works in the current moment. This like old paradigm, this old like, I don't know, like techniques don't work in 2022. Like the situation commands a different response. And if you try to put your head down and just will your way through, that's not gonna work anymore. You know, like at workplaces, people want you to work hard, but it's not because you're the hardest worker that you get promoted. As fucked up as that sounds, there's like politics into that, right? You need to speak up for what's right and what's wrong and assert your dominance on that. You need to learn to speak up, not just sit there and deal with it. I feel like in this culture that we live in, we just lack like positive masculinity of what it means to be a man. Everyone's just androgynous nowadays, right? No one's a guy, no one's a girl. Everyone's just like in the middle. And there is something, a positive aspect of embracing your masculinity and being like, hey, I have testosterone. I have this like healthy rage. Let's just channel it in a productive way of being like, I want to take command of the situation. Like, let's go and speak up. Let's do this, right? But I feel like everyone's just silent. Everyone's just silent, especially this Asians. Like no one speaks up anymore about that. There's like some YouTubers that are speaking up against it, but like a lot of people like, no, they don't speak these thoughts of like, hey, there's this active racism going on against our culture, and no one is like acknowledging the fact that like, hey, we have to work harder in the dating scene. We literally have to be the best in fucking everything. Think about it for like us, we're the model minority. We work harder than any other fucking race. We're killing in every fucking field. Finance, tech, medicine. And we're the highest paid fucking individuals because we work goddamn hard. And the thing is, when it comes to social cues and social momentum, it's like, what's lacking there? Why are we not killing it? Asians are so used to working hard. Why can't we change a stereotype? Why can't we become like the cool, popular social guys in the narrative, in the media, and in our local communities? Why are there not like Asian men in power? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, there's some very few Asian CEOs. No one ever talks about that. Or just Asians in leadership. It's not, which is hilarious. Like, we're the highest paid people, but like, are we really in positions of authority and leadership? And if you think about it, how do people respond to Asians being in leadership positions? Do they respect you? Do they think of you as passive? Do they think of you as less because of your race? Probably. And I'm not saying like these things are exclusive to being Asian, but the thing is, at least there's a conversation about like racism on other races, like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. But like, where is diversity and inclusion for Asians? When they say diversity and inclusion, they usually mean black and white. They don't really mean Asians, Native Americans, like Indians, also a thing, right? It's just like, I feel like the whole diversity talk right now is on black and white. And just because Asians are statistically higher, have more education and are making more money, that doesn't exclude us from these topics. You know, we struggle too, especially in the dating scene. And, you know, what's the point of life if you don't find love? And I know a lot of Asian brothers, thank you so much for your comments. We're struggling to find identity. We're struggling to find a community. We're struggling to find empowerment for ourselves and to lead this next generation. And I'm reading these comments from people who are like 39, and they just went on life just being a doormat, dealing with these like backhanded comments of being like, oh, you're too Asian, you're so submissive, like he was a friend. And it's like, how does that affect your psyche? How does that affect your relationships? How does that affect your day-to-day? Like, are you afraid to speak up? Like, just the simple things. That's not healthy. It really affects your overall confidence and self-esteem, which is so sad. Just so fucking sad. And I'm not saying I'm right on any of this. These are some things I've acknowledged, and I'm just speaking up against it because I'm speaking up for us guys in the same way I wish I spoke up sooner. And if you're struggling with these things in the dating scene and dealing with stereotypes, discrimination, I'm going to say it sucks. We have to acknowledge the fact that it sucks. But the solution is we got to look better, be better, and just fucking be the greatest fucking person ever, right? Get the dopest hobbies, get the coolest friends, get like, just dress fucking well. Make fucking bands, make as much money as you can. Be a great brother, be a great son. Just do everything in your ability and you'll find someone that truly, genuinely appreciates it. And if someone doesn't appreciate you while you're putting your best step forward, taking care of your health and life and wealth, let that person go. Acknowledge that when you're in the dating scene, you're going to deal with some really fucked up people and shallow people. And I know you're longing for this connection the same way I did, but don't settle for less because those people will take away from you and the things you've worked so hard for. Don't let them be leeches. It's okay to be single. It's okay to be alone. And sometimes you'll feel lonely, but it's okay to be alone versus being lonely. There's a difference. And do your best. Put your head down, but also speak up when it's right and wrong. Stand up for yourself. And I don't believe in the whole, soulmate myth, but I truly believe there is someone out there for all of us. And maybe you'll never find the girl who is inherently a 10 out of 10 for you, but you might find someone who's like a 9.5, a 9.8, or even a 9. Not just on hotness, but just personality, ambition, all that fun stuff, and on a spiritual level as well. Well, what's the difference between finding someone who's like a 9.8 and a 10? If you find a 10, hell yeah. But if you find a 9 that improves your life, stay with that person. But don't stay with someone who doesn't view you and love you for who you are. And if cock size matters, or your race, or your accent, or the way you dress, or your glasses, all these like shallowness and petty things, fuck them. Let them go. Work hard and build love and find people that love you for you. And I'm not gonna lie, good people are very hard to come by, right? But the more you become good and know how to identify healthy traits in individuals and people, you'll attract good people. Because good people have the most barriers, actually, because they have to filter out because there's so many shallow and really negative people out there. You have to protect your soul. You got to protect your intentions and keep your social circle, inner circle, small. Fill it with quality people versus quantity, and you'll never go wrong. It's a lonely journey. I've been there. It's taken me my entire life to develop good friends, and I'm still doing it, and to be a good boyfriend and to find someone I truly care and love about. And it's arduous. It's very, very hard, and I have so much empathy. But I hope by you guys watching this, it gives you inspiration to do better and be better. So as always, I am so thankful if you've made it this far in the video. I hope you find some value. And as always, namaste.